Everybody, what we're talking about is illegal aliens, and Trump is right. A few years ago, I served a registered letter on every member of the U.S. House of Representatives Committee on the Judiciary, which is about 35 congressmen, and every member of the U.S. Senate Committee on the Judiciary, which is about 17 senators. In that letter, I told him there's no such thing as an illegal alien, that the so-called illegal aliens are actually state citizens and have more rights than anyone that thinks they're a U.S. citizen, and that they're perjuring their oaths by calling them illegal aliens. And the congressman came out on national television and started calling them undocumented workers. The reason they cannot do anything about the millions of so-called illegal aliens is because of the law of the land, okay? Common law. Because once they're here, they have all the rights and privileges of a state citizen and that common law. The reason the so-called illegal aliens are actually state citizens is because of common law and law of the land. A friend of mine rails on me for calling it common law, and he's 100% correct. Common law has multiple definitions. Common law is just the decisions of the courts. Common law of England is 800 years of jury trial decisions, and so that's why it's such a good thing to use, but it's also affected by statutes in England. And there's a common law of the District of Columbia, which is decisions of admiralty courts. And that has nothing to do with freedom. The proper terminology is law of the land or natural law. This is Article 6, Constitution for the United States of America, says this Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land. And the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, and anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. So, talking about law of the land. This is Taylor versus Porter, a New York Supreme Court case from 1843. The words by the law of the land, as here used, do not mean a statute passed for the purpose of working the wrong. This section was taken with some modifications from a part of the 29th chapter of the Magna Carta, which provided that no freeman should be taken or imprisoned or be disseized of his freehold, etc., but by the lawful judgment of his peers or by the law of the land. Lord Coke, in his commentaries upon this statute, says that these words by the law of the land mean by the due course and process of law. That's due process, right, that you hear people talking about. Fifth Amendment, Article 5 in Amendment, which he afterwards explains to be by indictment and presentment of good and lawful men where such deeds are done in due manner, or by writ original of the common law. And that's citing Book 2 of the Statutes of the Laws of England, sections 45 and 50, by Coke. To be that statutes that would deprive a citizen of the rights of person or property without a regular trial according to the course and usage of common law would not be the law of the land. Okay, so statutes are not law of the land. Statutes are not common law, in fact. That's Hoke versus Henderson, a North Carolina case. This is Hale versus Hinkle, U.S. Supreme Court. The individual may stand upon his constitutional rights as a citizen. He's entitled to carry on his private business in his own way. His power to contract is unlimited. He owes no duty to the state or to his neighbors to divulge his business or to open his doors to an investigation so far as it may tend to incriminate him. He owes no such duty to the state since he receives nothing therefrom beyond the protection of his life and property. His rights are such as existed by the law of the land, long antecedent to the organization of the state. Okay, antecedent means before. And can only be taken from him by due process of law. Right? That's talking about the Magna Carta and the Fifth Amendment. And in accordance with the Constitution. Among his rights are a refusal to incriminate himself and the immunity of himself and his property from arrest or seizure except under a judicial power warrant. a warrant of the law. Well, there's not too many of those out nowadays. Matter of fact, I doubt there's any. But there could be. Have to see. He owes nothing to the public so long as he does not trespass upon their rights. So the law of the land was here before the government. And the law of the land has always been here. The principle that no person should be deprived of life, liberty, or property except by due process of law, that's Fifth Amendment, Magna Carta, right? Did not originate in the American system of constitutional law, but was contained in the Magna Carta, sometimes referred to as Chapter 29, confirmed on the 19th day of June, 1215, declared, no freeman shall be taken or imprisoned or deceased or outlawed or exiled and anywise destroyed, nor shall we go upon him nor send upon him, but by the lawful judgment of his peers or by the law of the land. It has been said that the principle was known before the Magna Carta, and that it was originally designed to secure the subject against arbitrary action of the Crown and to place him under the protection of the law. It is settled beyond question that this principle came from England to America as part of the common law, and has been a fundamental rule in common law. When first adopted in Magna Carta, the phrase law of the land had reference to the common law and has been a fundamental rule of common law. And that's Book 16, American Jurisprudence, 2nd edition, Constitutional Law, Section 543. Law of the land means common law. Well, yes it does, but common law can mean a lot of different things. So, usually when you want to be specific, you say common law of England. But even then, that's why law of the land or natural law work better. Every citizen and freeman is endowed with certain rights and privileges to enjoy which no written law or statute is required. These are the fundamental or natural rights recognized among all free people. U.S. Declaration of Independence. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. And that's basically the preamble for the Declaration of Independence. And this is actually, Jefferson took that phrase from Blackstone's Commentaries on the Laws of England. And this is from Blackstone's Commentaries on the Laws of England. This law of nature, being coeval with mankind, is dictated by God himself, and is of course superior in any obligation to any other. It is binding over all the globe and all countries and at all times. No human laws are of any validity if contrary to this, and such of them as are valid derive all their force, all their authority, mediately or immediately from this original. So basically the law of nature is, if you pick something up and let go of it, it will fall. Okay, that's the law of nature. Okay, and there's nothing you can do about it. And but natural law that goes back to common law. Okay, you're right to do anything you want as long as you don't damage someone's person or their property. So-called illegal aliens are not U.S. citizens. So-called illegal aliens are not resident aliens. Because of law of the land, their physical presence on the land of America, they're state citizens. That makes them a state citizen, just because they're here. They have more rights than anyone who thinks they're a U.S. citizen. A U.S. citizen doesn't have any rights. A U.S. citizen's a slave. The only absolute and unqualified right of a U.S. citizen is to residence within the territorial boundaries of the United States. Why on earth would anybody want to be a low-life scumbag U.S. citizen? There are so many brain-dead idiot sheeple out there that don't have a clue about the true nature of citizenship in America. State citizens are the only ones living under free government whose rights are incapable of impairment by legislation or judicial decision. U.S. Supreme Court. State citizenship is a vested substantial property right, and the state has no power to divest or impair these rights. The state cannot diminish rights of the people. Okay, that's U.S. Supreme Court again. That other one's a California appeals case. I've heard district attorneys in California refusing to charge any so-called illegal alien with anything except common law crimes like murder, which is exactly what they should be doing. And I heard it from brain-dead idiot U.S. citizens that don't have a clue about the true nature of citizenship in America, and they were angry. Well, you know, they should be angry with themselves because they're idiots. The bail priests in the so-called courts never come out and say it, but they always find an excuse as to why the so-called illegal alien goes free. That's why the border pigs interview you to see what you know about state citizens. That's exactly what it is. That's why the government cannot do anything about the millions of so-called illegal aliens that are already here. Trump is 100% correct. The only way to stop them is to keep them from setting foot on the land of America. And the only way I know about doing that is a fence. Once they're here, we cannot diminish their rights without diminishing our own rights. One of the biggest reasons that we have this tyranny is because we've allowed their rights to be diminished and thereby diminished our own rights in the process. They're an underclass. If you want a job with the government or any corporation, you have to agree to be their slave. The corporations even advertise U.S. citizens only when they're in their help wanted classifieds. U.S. citizens have a social security number. U.S. citizens are slaves. They pay extortion. If a U.S. citizen wants a girl for a wife that's from another country, he has to get permission from the Gestapo, from the border pigs, with a green card or a fiancé visa. At common law, it is none of their damn business. The U.S. citizen slaves converted right into a privilege. It is, however, true that in common law countries it has always and consistently been held that the wife and minor children take the nationality of the husband and father. That is common law doctrine. That's why Obama wants them here to promote his agenda to enslave everybody. Trump is right. Trump is 100% correct. The U.S. citizen slaves that work for the government just go ahead and assault anybody who thinks they have any rights, and the U.S. citizen slave bar members on and off the bench do everything they can to justify the assault. The U.S. citizen slaves don't want anybody having any rights. The U.S. citizens are slaves, and they want to make sure everybody's a slave. Once the aliens are here, the law of the land says they're state citizens. Trump is 100% correct. That's why the government cannot do anything about the millions of aliens that are here. The only solution that I know about of making sure that they don't come is a fence. Someone else can come up with some other idea. I'm open to that idea. The end justifies the means is satanic, okay? These people are Satanists, not the so-called illegal aliens, the Gestapo, the pigs in the government. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, and put darkness for light and light for darkness. It behooves every man who values liberty of conscience for himself to resist invasions of it in the case of others, or their case may, by change of circumstances, become his own. And that's what Jefferson is saying. He's talking about karma, okay? The principle of what goes around comes around. And if you sit there and you think that you're going to turn a blind eye to something going on, and you think it's not going to come back and bite you in the backside, you're a brain-dead idiot. If ye love wealth better than liberty, the tranquility of servitude better than the animating contest of freedom, go home from us in peace. We ask not your counsel or arms. Crouch down and lick the hands which feed you. May your chains set lightly upon you, and may our posterity forget that you are ever our countrymen. Nobody could say it better than Samuel Adams. When shall it be said, in any country of the world, my poor are happy, neither ignorance or distress is to be found among them. My jails are empty of prisoners, my streets of beggars. The aged are not in want. The tax is not oppressive. The rational world is my friend, because I am friend of its happiness. When these things can be said, then may that country boast of its constitution and government. Well, we have nothing to boast about here. The streets are full of beggars. The prisons are full and overflowing because of the Satanist order followers running around populating them. The taxes are oppressive. But if the watchmen see the sword come and blow not the trumpet, and the people be not warned, and the sword come and take any person from among them, he's taken in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at the watchman's hands. This is my effort to make sure that I'm blameless on Judgment Day, and I hope you're blameless too. But the choice is yours, and you have to do something about it. And whether you circulate this video or not, it's up to you, but you got to do something about it. Either you're part of the problem or you're part of the solution. You're now a watchman. Circulate this video far and wide. Other videos, Bankster Thieves 1, 2, and 3, Churchianity series, Bankrupt Corporate So-Called Governments, Bar Members 1, 2, and 3, Do It Yourself How Not to Volunteer for the Selective Service, Martial Laws Here, Do It Yourself How No Income Tax, Do It Yourself No Sales Tax, Do It Yourself Traffic Stop, Do It Yourself Free Mail, Do It Yourself Kangaroo Courts 1, 2, and 3. Copies of these documents can be found in my private group at Yahoo called Administrating Your Public Servants. I have YouTube videos that are videos of private information shares that show these and other court citations that are available for a donation. And this last paragraph is for the Satanist order follower revenue officers operating in their private capacity. You can put your privileges and benefits up your rectal orifice. Donations to support this work are appreciated, but I prefer gold or silver coin. But as an extremely less desirable alternative, I can't accept the IOUs, the Federal Reserve notes, the PayPal gifts, checks, money orders, etc. Send me an email for particulars. If you find this useful, then you need to pay it forward. And if you don't know what pay it forward means, then watch the movie. Send me your successes. My blog is sovereigntyinternational.wordpress.com. My website is sovereigntyinternational.fyi. My email is engineerwin@yahoo. My YouTube profile is Sovereign Living. My Facebook community page, I deleted it because of censorship on the part of the Facebook pigs. My private group, Sovereignty International, is being deleted because of censorship on the part of the Facebook pigs. My Yahoo private group is Administrating Your Public Servants. My Google private group is Administrating Your Public Servants. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. I hope you get something out of it. And, you know, let's understand what's really going on instead of what the brain-dead idiot, bought and paid for idiots in the news media want you to think is what's going on. And do something about it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a real nice day.